Hey friends, we are live here on Facebook, and I have my dear friend John Melton on with me, which I'm so excited. John has been in this industry for 21 years. He is a husband, he's got two beautiful kids, and I'm just really excited to have him on here and interviewing him today. So as you hop on, say hello, tell me where you're watching from. I personally have been in business, haven't hit 21 yet, but I will eventually. I'm going on year 9, which still feels like a long time, my longest career. And, I just want to kind of pick your brain a little bit. How did you find this industry? What's it looked like for you? And then people that are looking to make some extra income, why is now a good time? So do you want to just
Yeah.
tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I kind of got in and then got out and then got back in. So when I first got involved, it was definitely because I didn't want to do anything else. Everything else, I was 20 years old and everyone else was going to school, getting a degree, so they get a job. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't really want a job. And, is there other ways to make money? I don't know. I mean, it wasn't really like talked about. And I saw network marketing. I went to a presentation and I was like a total red apple. You talk about like the rotten apple, the green apple, and the red apple, right? I was red apple. I was like hook, line, and sinker, take my money, let's get rich. And then of course that didn't happen. I ended up spending more money than I made my first couple years. And I learned a lot, but at the end of the day, the company got shut down. And when they went out of business, I was just like, maybe my friends were right. Maybe this was a pyramid scheme. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe this isn't legitimate. Like, I don't want to do something illegitimate. So, I went back into like corporate America and got a real job. And that was as a mortgage banker. And as a mortgage banker, I actually made a lot of money. And you know why? Because I took what I learned in network marketing and direct
Right.
sales and I applied that to mortgages, like just having a work ethic, being consistent, staying positive, even during challenging situations, and learning how to communicate and talk to people and overcome objections and stay in touch and be a human first and a marketer second, like all these things that I learned that I didn't really know were going to be relevant until I got into sales. And I was like, this is like taking candy from a baby. Like, this is just so easy. And oh my gosh. But the problem was I got involved when the rates first dropped, back in the heyday of the mortgage industry, 2004, 5, and 6. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I made $600,000 in 4 years as a community college dropout. I'm in my, mid 20s. So I had no business being in business, but I worked my face off. I made 100 calls a day. The problem was no residuals.
Right.
And on top of that, the market crashed in 2008. So you're working twice as hard, half the money. You're only as good as your last month, which means, if you don't close any loans for the month, you don't make money. It's 100% commission. So I just felt like, even though like I did it, I made money doing it. Like, it wasn't my career. Like, I wasn't like, when I grow up, I want to be a mortgage banker. You know what I'm saying? It was like just a job. It was a sales job. And what I came to realize is I still liked the idea of residual income. So I got back into network marketing in 2006, fired my boss in 2008, and I've been full-time ever since. And I got out in 2008 I went full-time in 2008 because I wanted to get out of the mortgage industry because the market was crashing. It was tanking hard, just like right now. Right now has a lot of similarities, unfortunately, to 2008. And if those of you that are watching this remember 2008, like it wasn't like 2008 was bad and then 2009 good. Like, it took a couple years to bounce back. And I think we're in that winter season with our economy. And I feel like at least through next year, it's going to be tough. Like, with inflation, the high interest rates, the
Right.
job market, people are going to be affected by this. So, as far as like timing and why would someone want to start something else right now? You don't want to be in a situation where you need a plan B and you don't have one.
Yep.
It's better to start something now before you need it. Some of you may need it, but let's just say you're in a situation where you're like, well, I'm good right now, but God forbid if something happened, I don't have a plan B. I don't have another income stream. So it just makes sense to have multiple income streams, in my humble opinion. And, I think ultimately there's a lot of people that are realizing that right now because of what's going on in the world.
Yeah. And history just repeats itself. So when you catch on to that trend, it's
Yep.
time to make a shift. And one thing I love about your story, which I think is very unique, because when a lot of people see an opportunity online to make income, they're very skeptical about it. You were the opposite, where you're like, I'm all in, I'm going for it. And so to the one who's maybe like a little bit skeptical on the fence, like, okay, I see people doing this, but can I really do it? I'm sure you come up with those people. And then, like you said, all the skills and different things that you learned that helped you in your actual real job, if you wanted
Yeah.
to do that. So what would you say to somebody who's like a little bit skeptical about this kind of thing?
Well, I mean, I would just you always have to question your skepticism. Like, why are you skeptical? What is the reason you're skeptical? Do you not know people that take supplements? Do you not know people that are overweight that would rather be thinner than they are? Do you not know people that, consume collagen or brush their teeth, wash their hair, wash their clothes? And then it gets kind of funny, right? It's like, well, yeah,
Right.
obviously that's everybody. And it's like, well, those are the products we offer. And we've been around for 30 years. If you count the legacy company, we're in, 30 plus countries. I mean, this isn't some fly by night company. And, the fact of the matter is those people that are going to buy our products anyway, or they're going to buy a similar type of product from some other company. So why not have them buy through you? Why not have those people, order through your link, your referral link? And when they order through your referral link, every time they order, you get paid. And for me, I just thought that was so genius because, I understood that, in a job, obviously it's linear income. You exchange time for dollars, time for dollars, time for dollars. You don't put in time, you don't make dollars. So, the truth is, I think most of us like the idea of business ownership or multiple streams of income or making money in our sleep, but we're afraid to go start our own business, right? And I get it. I mean, do you ever watch Shark Tank? Right? That's
Yes.
one of my favorite shows of all time. And you see these people, they put their life savings into a business idea, right? And they're so stressed. They own a business that owns them. A lot of times you see them get very emotional because of the sacrifice and the commitment and the dedication and the money they've invested. And then Mr. Wonderful is like, take it out back. It's a dog and shoot it. It's terrible. So what I love about a business like this, you don't have the risk. You don't have to fire your or quit your job, right? Like eventually I did fire my boss. That was cool.
Right.
But I didn't do it prematurely. I didn't do it before it was costing me money to go to work. So what I love about this type of business is you could do it around your busy schedule, keep your job, keep doing what you're doing full time. This is extra money in the beginning. You get tax advantages just like a traditional business. You have business ownership. It's literally an asset for income. If you stop working, you still get paid if your customers keep ordering. And of course, you have to go get the customers. You have to build the business like anything. You have to go do the work. But in mortgages, I had a ton of customers over the course of 4 years that I helped refinance or, purchase a home, whatever. I only got paid one-time commissions. The bank got paid every single month, every single month. I just don't have that kind of money to start a bank, right? I'm working on it, but I don't have that kind of money to just loan out tens of millions of dollars and make money in that regard, and we've done other things too. We've done life insurance. We had an agency for about 7 years. We've done a ton of real estate investing and investing in brands, investing in all kinds of things. We have a couple, destined properties. We invest in the stock market. But the problem is with all those things, number one, you don't have control over it. Like when the market crashes or, a lot of us have a 401k that's now a 101k, so this is something you can actually control. You can put your sweat equity into it. It's not just like an investment, right? I like to believe I'm a savvy investor, but I've had some investments that I invested in and I lost the investment. I didn't just not make money. I lost my investment, right? So here, minimal investment of your time, of your money. You don't have to have a ton of experience. If you're coachable, you have a good attitude. And I know that sounds like kind of cringy, like, oh, good attitude, but that's who we want to work with. I had a lady yesterday. She had a bad attitude. She was like demanding that it's kind of a long story. I don't want to get into it, but she was talking to this other person on our team. And then she was wanting to get on the phone with me and she was making all these demands. And I'm like, I haven't dealt with a person like that in a while. So I was like, listen, I'm totally fine with helping you with ABC, with some of your requests, but they feel like demands. And like we're not even working together. And I already feel like this is uncomfortable. And I don't typically deal with that. So I'm just going to be very upfront and let you know that like we like to work with positive people, and maybe you're having a bad day. I don't know. But then she came back at me very aggressively, and I was like, nope, not interested. Like, we're not going to work with people like that. Most of the time that doesn't happen. But when you deal with someone like that, isn't it beautiful that you can say, you know what? No, thank you. I think you would be better off with someone else, with maybe a different company, a different opportunity, a different organization. So I think that's really important, that you want to work with people that you feel aligned with their values and principles.
Yeah. And, kind of bleeding into that, like the company that we're with has values, has principles, you have that flexibility, that freedom to work with who you want and help who you want. And
Yes.
so you could go anywhere. You've been with a lot of different, or a couple different companies. You had a lot of different opportunities that you've dabbled in and are successful with now. But like, why continue to do this? Like, why this company when you could go anywhere and do anything?
It's definitely a unique model because we have so many people, as you know, this is one of the reasons you came here too, right? And
Mhm.
I think there's so many people like you, Tamika, and there's so many people like me that we just had MLM PTSD. And it's like, I don't want to build a team and then like everybody keeps quitting because no one's making money. Here we have people that are actually earning a full-time income just from their customer base. So we teach people how to market on social, how to generate leads and sales. Obviously we still recommend you talk to people that actually know you exist, your warm market, but you don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to rely on just your warm market because of social media these days. And you don't have to even build a team to make money with us. And we've got this like dual-sided compensation plan. I mean, we've revolutionized the industry. And it makes me feel good knowing that we've made such a positive impact on the profession as a whole. Like, so many companies are copying our products, our systems, our model, our referral program, our dual-sided plan. But when we first came out with it, that was like a foreign conversation. Like, even our website, if someone goes to our website, our primary site has nothing about the opportunity. It's like an e-commerce experience. And to me, that's the uniqueness of what we do. And the fact that I can do this, like I'm in my basement right now. Like I'm at home. I'm always at home, unless we're traveling the world. And I can still, by the way, we were just in Monte Carlo last week. That was amazing. Such a cool experience for a mastermind. And of course we turned it into like a vacation as well. But it's not like I can't still run my business. I can still respond to messages. I can still, help my teammates and do all the same things that I'm doing, whether I'm in, the south of France or I'm right here in Maryland where I live. So I think that's really the thing that I love so much about this business, is that you can be like a virtualpreneur. And I think there's a lot of people that get involved in starting their own business, not because of the money. Maybe for some people it's the money. For me, I thought it was the money, but then I made a bunch of money in mortgages and I realized it's not money that motivates me. It's freedom. It's freedom. It's having that ability of you have the luxury of choice, right? You have the ability to choose who you work with, when you work, how much you work, how little you work, where you work from. I cannot even imagine a business that is a more like total package than this.
And it's funny because like I came from a different company and you always hear the phrase like you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Like and when you're with other companies, you're like, oh, I wish that this were different, or I wish that were different, and all the things. And then when you see what we have here, it's like, oh my gosh, this checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
And then even, I went to leadership conference earlier this month, and knowing that there is a team of people that are in the field with us working, and I know that you're on that, and it's like they hear us, they make changes when needed, and we're constantly evolving. And like you said, we're just paving the way for the industry as a whole. And I would rather be part of the real deal than the copycat.
Yeah. The OG. That's what I always say. It's like people are like, oh, our company's coming out with collagen, or we have collagen now, or we have, ATM groups, or we teach people how to create curiosity, or we now have a dual-sided comp plan. I'm like, they got all that from us. Like, wouldn't you rather just be with the OG? And they're like, yeah, I guess that's true. And the other problem too is there's companies that like, they try to add this one thing or this other thing. Like I'm talking to this other leader, and it's so tough because she's making a lot of money. She's making tens of thousands a month, but she's like, I'm just not seeing growth and duplication. My team isn't really, they're just kind of stuck. It's just stagnant. It's not exciting. They do lots of Zooms and three-way calls. She's like, I don't want to do that. Like, I see your lifestyle. I see the leaders on your team, their lifestyle. She's like, and I can tell you guys are still working. It's like, you're still building your business. You're not just hanging out, cashing a check, but you're working smarter. And I think there's a lot of very smart people out there, and they like the idea of residual income and leveraged income, obviously, but they don't like the way that you have to build those other businesses. It feels a little misaligned for people. And they're like, that's why I think we attract people and we retain people. I'm not saying that everybody that comes here never quits. I'm not saying we never have people leave and go elsewhere, but I can't tell you how many times people have left and they've come back. And that says something. That tells you have something really, really great, something special. Because typically, if people quit, they're not going to go back to the place they left. But I got a woman right now. Her name's Sarah. Just talking to her an hour ago, and she's so excited. And I haven't heard from her in 2 years. And she's just like, "Hey, can you add me back to the groups? I'm ready to start doing stuff again." I'm like, "Sure." I never made her feel bad. I wasn't like text blasting her. "Where are you, Sarah? How dare you?" Like I wouldn't even notice if she quit. I shouldn't say I wouldn't notice. I did notice. But like I'm not going to have like any type of negative vibration or animosity towards someone just because they have to do something for themselves that they think is best for them. And I think the culture here, that's what's the most special part. Like you said, corporate is aligned with the field and the way we treat people. And we're not just like trying to make a buck off people. Like we teach people about wealth and money. And we're talking about relationships and, teaching husbands and wives how to, treat their children and how to treat each other. And like, we're really helping people in the most positive way, make an impact on the world and not just make it about money. And I think that's something that you see a lot of times in these types of businesses is it just seems like there's a high percentage of people that just talk about the money. And what they don't realize is not a lot of people really believe in that. Like when you talk about 10,000 a month to normal people, they're just like, dude, I can't even like they can't even fathom that. So they just shut down. They're like, that just sounds like BS, So anyway, I could go on a rant about this all day long, but those are some of the things that I think make what we have with social retail so special.
Yeah. And I think that you do a great job of just like leading from the front. At my old company, it felt like when somebody quit, oh gosh, I got to plug a hole in that ship. And you're just constantly trying to plug holes. But like, you just keep an open door, you keep working your business, you keep showing up. And like you said, it's about the lifestyle, whether people want to work a full-time job and still do this, or whether they want to fire their boss and go in full-time, like it gives you options, which I just think is incredible. And, I taught high school math for 6 years. I've been home for the last 8 years because of this business, just being home with my kids. And I actually just put in an application and getting a job to go back and teach at the school right next to my kids for a couple of years and try it out because I want to, and so it really just gives you the freedom, the flexibility, the experiences, the growth, the friendships, the health quality. The list goes on and on and on. And it's just like, if not now, when?
Yeah.
Because you're like, it's the time is now, like this is the perfect time to start a business. Everything is online. And just like you said, they're buying the stuff from somebody else. Why not it be you too? So thank you so much, John, for doing this with me. Anything you'd say to wrap us up?
Yeah, I really think the opportunity is amazing here in the States, but also international. Our business has expanded all over the world. We've got we just had a huge event this past weekend in the Czech Republic because we have a really great leader out there with an amazing team. And when you think about how cool that is, like you could have people in Iceland, Australia, Japan, the Czech Republic, Italy. We were just in the south of France and I have people in France on my team. Like it's crazy, right? And I just think this is the power of social media as well, is that you might know people that know people in Spain. You might know people that know people in California. Maybe you're on the East Coast like I am. So that's the beauty, is you really build a business in different cities, states, and countries all over the world, people speaking different languages. Like I don't speak Czech, I don't speak Spanish. And we have people in Spain, we have people that are dominating. In fact, I have the number one Hispanic speaking leader in the entire company, Veronica Alice. Like she is amazing. Her and her husband, they actually live here in Maryland now. When I met Veronica, she was living in Colorado. Now they live 40 minutes from us. So weird. And they're so cool. They have such a cute little family. But the point is she's speaking Spanish, building a Spanish team, right? She's bilingual, of course. But, the fact is she has business in Spain. If we open up Mexico, she can override all of Mexico. And so can the person watching this right now. And that to me is what's so absolutely amazing as far as like the timing and the opportunity is that not only can you build a business in your own, backyard in your, city, state, whatever, your country, right? Your zip code, but you could have a business that literally is in different parts of the world, different continents, different time zones all over the world. So this is how you make money while you sleep. And I just think if you're working with Tamika, you're working with her team, you're working with me, you're working with all of us together, like there's no reason you wouldn't have success unless you just don't give it a shot. So be coachable, give it a shot, put some effort into it. And I think you'll amaze yourself what you can create over time.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, everyone.